Hello, my lovely angels. This is your girl Sim back with another episode of the Sim Squad. Hi. So, as requested by so many people of late, and because I've not done this compilation for a very long time, today we'll be discussing Beast Mode perfumes. But Beast Mode perfumes only from Lattafa. Why? It's because I need to do part 1 and part 2. And the only way I could compile this, yeah, I could have mixed it up and everything, but I thought, so first I thought, let me finish all my Lattafas because this is something people are expecting. And then we can do all the other brands together. I have a feeling even Khadlaj should have its own video because they have a lot of Beast Mode perfumes, but I'm gonna try, and like this one is going to be just 11 perfumes. Maybe the next one would be like 15 perfumes or so, and then we can try and like include everything that I think is Beast Mode performance. Now, when I say Beast Mode performance, I mean 8 hours or more. It cannot be 7 hours. It cannot be 6 to 7 hours. It cannot be initially it like projects a lot and it's crazy strong, but then after 6 hours it's like barely there on your clothes or on your skin. So let's start with the first one, and it's a new one. It is Sehr from Lattafa. This has been appearing a lot on my channel because quite frankly, I love this perfume so much. To some people, this is like a pure vanilla bomb. To my nose, this is a mild suede with some amount of vanilla, tonka bean and bitter almond. That's what it smells like to my nose. Like, I know a lot of people are saying they smell it to be like a vanilla bomb. Now, I don't know if Lattafa has 2 different formulations or something, but this to me unmistakably is the smell of Shagaf Oud Tonka by Swiss Arabian, mixed with some vanilla and suede. If you remember my obsession with Ishq Al Shayuk a long time ago, that was again a Beast Mode perfume. Right now I don't have it in my collection, and even if I did, I would bump it and go for this one because the suede in this one is still a bit more wearable. I can wear this in summer as well. Although I would prefer to wear this perfume in fall, winter, in autumn, winter, I think this can be pulled off during summer as well, but in the evenings. The projection for this is a good like 4 to 5 feet. It's quite strong, it's potent, and the longevity, of course, it's 8+ hours. My rating for this is a 10 out of 10. And that is your Sehr Lattafa. Kudos to them for being so bold to release this bottle. It's very heavy. Cap is not plastic, thank goodness, because if it was plastic, it would have ruined the entire vibe of this perfume. Next, we have a perfume I've not discussed in like forever, and that is Masa. Masa was from their Pride collection, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure, I don't remember. I think it was from their Pride collection because I remember it being a little pricey. I'll put the prices on screen, guys, because I want to make this like a quick review because it's a compilation and not like an in-depth review. By the way, I'm trying to segregate my channel into playlists so you can go for maceration updates or compilations or hauls or just for fun, those weird ones I make. This one, every time I wear this, I feel like, why am I not wearing this more often? And then I remember it's because it's summer, because in winter I was wearing this a lot. But this to me is a very occasion wear. It makes an impression. This is supposed to be a dupe for Ganymede, which I have a decant of finally, But you know what? I'm going to make a separate video where I do side-by-side comparisons of perfumes that I have the dupes or decants for, yeah? And I've smelt it and it's nearly identical. The top notes for this are mango, saffron, pink pepper and lemon. Middle notes are osmanthus, violet leaf, orange blossom and ginger. And the base notes are mineral notes, suede, patchouli and amber. It's a very complicated perfume. When you smell it, you will definitely smell the mango, which is very prominent. But mango, it's not fresh mangoes. And even if it was intended to be fresh mangoes, because it has notes like suede and mineral notes, you can't really identify the freshness of the mango or the juiciness of the mango. It's definitely a very spicy perfume as well. You can smell the pink pepper. Like the more I read the notes like ginger, pepper, like you can smell the spiciness in the background, the zing, But that initial mango with saffron note, which makes this perfume smell cold, stays throughout the perfume. While it's a very complicated perfume, so when you smell it, you can smell different facets of the perfume. It is still a very linear perfume. So from the beginning till the end, you smell the same notes. This again is a very unisex perfume. It smells very, very expensive, classy and sophisticated. All I can tell you is like think of spicy notes with some fruity notes, some florals, but then you have your suede, you have your earthy notes, your patchouli and your mineral notes as well. Leans very heavily Middle Eastern, by the way, because it smells like a Middle Eastern spice market, you know. It's very luxurious smelling, by the way. Like I want, it's one of those perfumes that when you wear it, you know how I feel with Opulence of Dubai? I feel like it smells like expensive, smells like the most expensive mall, you know. This is one of those. And the projection for this is like 2 to 3 feet, I would say. It's not very highly projecting like Sehr, but it'll create like a massive scent bubble around you. So 2 to 3 feet, people will smell you for sure. And of course, the longevity is 8+ hours. My rating for this again is a 10 out of 10. This is a unisex perfume, so I think a guy or girl can wear it. Does this lean slightly masculine? I'm trying to figure out, but no, I don't feel so. I think if a woman wears this, it'll adapt and become like a feminine scent. And if a guy wears it, you know, it's just a very strong impression making perfume for sure. Next, we have Ameer Al Oudh. This is probably my favorite winter perfume. Now, I don't wear this in summer at all because it is very sweet, very incensey and very sticky. It literally smells like smoky oud with sugar and vanilla. Some amount of caramel as well, because it does smell a little sticky. But it's extremely smoky and extremely sweet. Like when I say literally, when you taste sugar, you know how that taste is, the sugar's sweetness? It's that sweet. But imagine that now with oud. It also feels like dry woods, you know. So thank God this does not have rose. Because if this had rose, it would become one of those typical Middle Eastern fragrances with rose and saffron and agarwood, you know. Very linear. From the beginning till the end, you smell the exact same thing. Like it's supposed to be like a dupe for By the Fireplace by Mason Margiela. It's not. It's the same genre. It's the same DNA, not even genre. It's the same DNA, but it doesn't smell alike. It will remind you of that perfume though, right? It's very smoky, very like you feel like you're sitting next to a fireplace, by a bonfire, not even a fireplace. It's like literally a bonfire in the Middle Eastern desert. That's what it smells like, you know? It's such a comforting scent. Like you literally feel like somebody is, like you feel like the universe is giving you a hug, like a nice warm embrace, especially in winter when you wear this. It just warms you up from the inside out, you know? To me, this again is unisex for sure, because a guy, girl, you know, oud perfumes, anyone can wear it, right? The projection is like 3 feet, I would say, and the longevity 8+ hours. It'll stay on your clothes till you wash it off. Of course, 10 out of 10, there's no doubt about it. Wow, so far all these perfumes were 10 out of 10, which is like, just in case I forgot to tell you the notes, the top notes are woody notes and agarwood, middle notes of sugar and vanilla, and the base notes of, again, agarwood, sandalwood, and some herbal notes. Frankly, I don't smell any herbal notes. Like you would think some kind of aromatic or some coolness or something would come. Maybe there's like a hint of it somewhere that cuts through all the sweetness, but that's about it. Because although it's very sweet, it doesn't get to you. It's not very overwhelming. Next, we have a perfume that's a little bit different, and I'll tell you why, because you saw the theme that was going on, right? Now we have Musamam White Intense by Lattafa. Of course, I had to put this perfume. This baby, you know me, I am in love with this perfume. And although I have recently purchased it, I mean, it's not been that long, I've already finished that much. So clearly, I'm obsessed with this perfume. It's more of a, not Middle Eastern, it's more of an Oriental leaning scent. It is supposed to be a dupe for Stellar Times by Louis Vuitton, but it kind of reminds me of Liam by Lattafa, which is a dupe for your Gris Charnel by BDK, along with the gingeriness of Crystal Noir. Like mix those two together and you kind of get what Stellar Times or Musamam smells like, right? The top notes for this are bergamot, orange and spices, middle notes of coconut, mahaniel, ylang ylang and ambroxan, and the base notes of sandalwood, benzoin and musk. It's definitely very heavy on that ginger. They say spices. I can clearly smell ginger. I can smell pepper. Coconut, your sandalwood, benzoin, musk, everything is there. Benzoin kind of is translating to a vanilla. Thank you for the person who told me about that. Then you have your florals and everything, but it's not an indolic or very that strong ylang ylang scent. You know, it's not one of those Like yellow florals can get very, very overwhelming. This is not overwhelming at all. And of course, in the opening, you have that freshness of citruses. If you like Crystal Noir, I'm not saying this is a dupe for Crystal Noir, but it'll remind you of that for sure. It'll remind you of Gris Charnel as well. If you like Gris Charnel, if you like Crystal Noir, you know the kind of scents I'm talking about. Femme fatale. These are the perfumes that make women smell like, they can kill you with one look. It is definitely unisex, and maybe some people might find this a tad bit masculine. I also smell some sort of aromatic in the background, like frankincense or something, which is not listed over here. Initially, when I bought this perfume, it was 6 hours. Then it like slowly increased. Now it's 8+ hours. It just does not leave your skin or your clothes. So this is a 10 out of 10. Wow. All the perfumes are 10 out of 10. See, the thing is, I'm sharing with you beast mode perfumes that I really do like. So of course, most of these are going to be 10 out of 10, Now let's go for something a little bit deeper, and we have Mohra. No, I've not forgotten about this perfume. This is one of my, again, winter favorites. Like most of these perfumes are very winter perfumes because like these heavy notes of woods and spices and thicker like ingredients, I feel like they're more meant for winter. And your fresh perfumes, usually, they don't smell very winter beast mode. This smells like a Turkish marketplace. It just transports me to a different time altogether. This is supposed to be a dupe for Penhaligon's Halfeti, but the cedar version. The top notes for this are saffron, lavender, blood orange and bergamot. For sure in the beginning. Although none of these notes, by the way, you cannot smell them individually. But you'll, again, just like Masa, you'll smell them in whiffs. There's a huge difference between Masa and this one, guys. That one is more exotic. This one is more traditional, yeah? But you can smell like very strong, cold aromatics in the opening. The saffron and lavender again is adding to that coldness. The middle notes are black pepper, rose and cashmere. The black pepper is smelling a little bitter. So in the middle, it's not a bad bitter, by the way, it's a very good bitter. It's that bitter that you want in your perfumes, right? So you do smell the black pepper coming in like in a very bitter way, along with that rose and cashmere. But rose is not one of those roses that are too traditionally Middle Eastern. It's a very well done rose where you will not feel overwhelmed with it. Let's just say that rose is not taking center stage at all. And then you have the base notes of patchouli, sandalwood, cedar, labdanum and musk. All of these very earthy, little bit animalic. Beautiful. I mean, I cannot say anything more about this perfume. So spice, literally Turkish spice market. And Mohra, by the way, it's very, very economically priced. So you can get this like, I'm obsessed with its sister as well, the silky, Mohra Silky Rose. And this one for winter, obsession. Both of these were like amazing. Maybe Lattafa should release another flanker for this one, This is leaning very heavily Middle Eastern. And it is definitely unisex, leaning masculine. I think you can wear this in fall, winter, only not in spring, summer. Even in fall, winter, I would prefer a person wearing this during evenings and nights because it's very, very overwhelming, very strong. I would prefer to wear this on occasions or when I go out in the evenings for dinner and stuff. Needless to say, longevity is insane. Projection is like, again, 4 to 5 feet. Again, 10 out of 10. Wow. Is there any perfume right now that I've not given 10 out of 10 to? Next, we have two perfumes that people will not be... It'll be divided. Okay. The first one is Amethyst. Amethyst is literally, when I described it in my vampiric fragrances as Akasha from Queen of the Damned, it is just that. This is your Arabian queen who's a little dark. She knows she's gorgeous, she's seductive, she's a little bit of a tyrant, not tyrant, what do you call it? She's a little sadistic as well, Initially, my bottle did have that little rubbery scent that everybody has been talking about. It just macerated and that rubberiness is completely gone. The top notes for this are bergamot, pink peppercorn and black currant. Heart of Turkish rose, Bulgarian rose and jasmine, and the base notes of agarwood, amber and vanilla. What makes this different from other Arabian rose oud perfumes, because this is clearly a rose oud perfume? It's just very dark. And the rose, you feel like it's not even a red rose. You feel like it's a black color rose, It's like that dark. The rose is cold. Somewhere there is saffron, which they have not listed because I can clearly smell the saffron. There's something really, really cold in this perfume. It literally feels like this perfume was created in a cave or someone's cellar, It's not like it created in lights and tube lights and modern methods or something. It's like it's created in a dark, damp place, That combination of blackcurrant, pink pepper with the roses and the jasmine, you know. And then of course your oud comes in like, look at me, I'm the showstopper. It's such a beautiful fragrance, guys. Yes, it's a rose fragrance, but it is not your typical, again, grandma vintage rose. This is a very dark, serious, gothic perfume. It's not meant for people who want to be a wallflower, This is going to be a perfume that is going to scream for attention, demand respect. This is one of those perfumes that makes me feel confident. Like the moment you put this on, you feel like you're the bomb, This is definitely not unisex. I feel like I know guys in Middle East, they wear it, but no, it's a very feminine fragrance. Like it's a femme fatale again, but to the next level. She's the queen of all the femme fatales. Like think of Akasha from Queen of the Damned. Like that's like the best picture I can paint for you. This was supposed to be a dupe for Initio's Atomic Rose, but it's not even close. It's close. I mean, you can smell some facets of that perfume, but it's not really a clone for that one. Again, this one is projecting up to 4 feet, It does have like good projection. If you spray a lot, you will project till 10 feet as well. Like if you by mistake break this bottle, I think your entire neighborhood is going to smell of amethyst. 10 out of 10 for sure. Highly Middle Eastern and definitely very, very feminine. This can be worn in any season, I feel, but fall, winter, of course, is like the more appropriate time. But on summer nights, like balmy nights, I can wear this on my skin, just one spray, and let it like permeate through my clothes, from through my skin to my clothes to the rest of the world. Sometimes the way I talk is like... Next we have Oud for Glory, which is, if she was the queen, this is the king. For me, this is probably like the best oud perfume. Actually, wait, maybe not the best. Let me not give spoilers. Oh, after smelling Amethyst, by the way, this one smells a little weaker. So you need to smell this before Amethyst. But this one, it's like a dry oud. Again, people say they smell that rubbery note. It's not a rubbery note. This is like that slight bit of an animalic oud. I don't know how to explain it to you because there's just different kind of ouds. And one of that oud translates to something a little bit animalic. This is not a barnyardy oud. That kind of oud, this little bit poopy, little bit fecal smelling oud, that's a different level of barnyardiness. This is a little animalic. You almost feel like it has a little bit of leather in it, which is why you feel, oh, it's smelling a little rubbery. Top notes are bergamot, pink pepper and blackcurrant, which was the exact same opening as Amethyst. Heart notes of peony, caramel and oud wood. And base notes of raspberry, patchouli and dry amber. What can I say? It smells a little sweet, not as sweet as Amethyst, of course. It smells like a very dry, slightly spicy oud which has animalic facets. So if you're a beginner oud, maybe it's not going to be okay for you because this is definitely a little bit animalic, which is not suitable for everybody. But if you're okay with leather notes, if you're okay with suede, if you're okay with tobacco, those kind of notes which are already very, very strong, this oud, you're going to love it. Plus the fact that it's a very dry oud, it doesn't feel rosy or juicy or warm or something, It smells, again, very, very cold. I'm telling you, these two are supposed to be together, like sitting on the throne together, Because they are alike and different in so many ways. And this is supposed to be a dupe for Initio's Oud for Greatness. And this one's called Oud for Gloria. Oud for me is an anytime, just wear it, whenever you want to. But that's very Middle Eastern thing to do. If I travel to a different country, I will not wear this during daytime. I will only wear this in the evenings. Probably only when I'm going for dinners and stuff. Because again, this is you need to, if you're trying to make an impression, right? You would wear this perfume. And yeah, if you're looking for a dry oud perfume with a mild sweetness and a little bit of like that animalic note, this is unisex but leans quite masculine, by the way. Because all these pure dry oud perfumes, they're meant for layering actually. You can wear this on its own, but as a layering perfume, it's amazing. If you want to add that little bit of oud, a little bit of that dry woody oud kind of note to any of the perfumes, you can add this. Projection is like again 3 to 4 feet or more depending on how much you spray, and the longevity is of course like 8 plus hours. 10 out of 10. Is there any perfume so far that's not 10 out of 10? Oh, maybe the next one. Okay. So the next one we have is Khaltat Al Arabia Royal Blends Gold. There's one in silver as well. This is the gold version. It's a very old perfume, so I'm sure you can get this at very economical prices. That's the top portion. This, I think, was created as a dupe for Pulp by Byredo. Or maybe not, I don't know. People compare this to Herba Pura. Please stop. Don't. Some people say it smells like honor and glory. What? You know? Anyhow, it smells very pulpy. It smells very powdery and pulpy at the same time. I know it just has some fruity notes, but I can clearly smell plum. But it does feel like very pulpy, juicy with some powdery background. You know, I know it sounds weird, but I say like powdery and pulpy together. You're like, what are you talking about? Because powderiness would be like a dryness and pulpiness would be a juiciness. But weirdly enough, it's a combination of both. It smells like pulpiness with baby powder at the back. Johnson's baby powder. The top notes for this are fruits and apple. Why didn't they just say fruits then? The middle notes are spices, nutmeg and clove. Why didn't they just say spices? And then the base notes of amber, musk and woody notes. So I suppose that, yeah, it's up to your interpretation, right? Because they're saying fruits. It can be any amount of fruits. But to my nose, it definitely smells like a very pulpy plum. And then you have your spices with nutmeg and clove. Clove barely there. Nutmeg, yes, it's quite prominent, but the most prominent spice I can smell in this is the black pepper. And then you have amber, musk and woody notes in the dry down. The opening is completely different from the dry down. Initially you feel like this, whoa, like so much of this pulpy fruits coming forward along with your spices, especially black pepper. Then it starts drying down and becoming like a very calm, woody, comforting scent. Yes, the pulpiness and the powderiness remains, but the powderiness starts getting a little bit stronger along with those woody notes with some fruits in the background. I know people who are absolutely obsessed with this perfume, and then there are people who are like me. I love it, but I reach for it very, very rarely and only during winter. I get a craving, you know, to wear this perfume. It's like no other perfume can satisfy me except for this perfume, and I need to go for it. It's definitely very Middle Eastern. The projection is like a 3 feet projection, like depending on how much you spray. If you spray more than 3 sprays, I think it's like 1 spray, 1 feet, 2 feet, 2 sprays, 2 feet, you know, directly proportional to the number of sprays, you know. My rating for this would probably be 9 out of 10 just because I don't reach for it like all the time. I really want to give it a 10 out of 10, but I think I'm in a very happy, good mood and I'm just like giving everything that, no, these perfumes have been in my collection for quite some time. Most of them are very old perfumes, you know, and the fact that they're still there and not decluttered after I have like these and so many perfumes in the background, I clearly love them, you know. But this I will give it a 9 out of 10 just because I don't reach for it that much. So if you're looking for a pulpy fragrance which has this plum note, but then it also has your spices, your baby powder. I know it's so weird. And then it has your dry down of woods. You're gonna absolutely adore this fragrance. Since we are doing like old perfumes, let me get over with one which is also quite old. I think you must have guessed it. It's Oud Mood. Oh gosh. Guys, people are asking me for oud perfumes, make a video for oud perfumes. I will make it soon. But these are the ouds I have, so I need to get some new oud perfumes. When I get some new ones, I will make a compilation for you. Because I have made oud perfumes before, and then it'll just be the same freaking video. It'll be the same video. So let me get some new ones. Hopefully I'll get some from some new brands. I will include those as well, which are going to be a more like oud, modern oud kind of perfumes, as opposed to these ones which I have, which are all very, very traditional ouds, yeah? Oud Mood is the most traditional. This is your typical Middle Eastern, if you're looking for a very, very typical oud Middle Eastern fragrance, which has your 5 notes that have to be there in one of these mukhallat, which is a blend, you know. You have your rose, oud, saffron, your amber and musk. You have these 5 notes and then you have some other notes included. Makes different Middle Eastern traditional fragrances. And this is what I was telling you. A traditional perfume, Middle Eastern with oud and rose, smells like this. This is your Lattafa has this one. Your Swiss Arabian has Oud, the original, smells like this. You have your Rehala, I think it's called, by Arabian Oud. You know, there's so many of them, and they all smell like people will think it smells like Oud Bouquet by Lancome. They have not copied Oud Bouquet. Oud Bouquet is just a very traditional blend of Middle Eastern perfume, you know, a traditional oud blend. And growing up, all my life, I've smelled those oils like everywhere. That smells like Oud Bouquet, which is why like I don't think I would ever go and pick up Oud Bouquet, because like you get it like so much cheaper in the Middle East, like perfumes like this that smell exactly the same. This has like a little bit of spiciness in the opening, which is thanks to, wait, let me tell you the notes. It's very interesting, that little spicy note. So you have your opening of rose, saffron and pimento. And then you have the middle notes of agarwood, caramel, floral notes and patchouli. And then you have your base notes of woods, resins, amber, incense and musk. Very typically Middle Eastern, but that pimento over here. Like, you know, I wish there was a little bit of pink pepper as well, but it is brilliant. Brilliant. If you want a Middle Eastern perfume, traditional, go for this one. Very typical, very sweet. People initially might feel, what the heck is this? Because it doesn't smell like your normal Western perfumes, like a French perfume. This is a completely different level of Middle Eastern, right? So it's like stark opposites. So in the first go, people will usually be like, what on earth am I smelling? Because like, first of all, if you're a first time oud user, you know, you'll be in shock. Then you have like your very strong rose and saffron, which smells almost like a cold drink, you know, those Middle Eastern drinks. And then your spices and everything. Oof, this perfume is amazing, like so beautiful. And I think everybody should have one of these versions, whether it be Oud Mood, whether it be Sugar Food, you know. You need to have one of these in your perfume collection if you're a Middle Eastern perfume lover. And I'm sure all of y'all have one version or the other of this perfume, you know. When I'm describing, I'm sure you're like, perhaps it smells like this, you know. But Oud Mood for me is my favorite as a basic Middle Eastern fragrance. 10 out of 10, always and forever. Again, see, I've not used up so much of it because it's again a very potent fragrance. It'll last like 10 hours or more. Projects like a good like 3 to 4 feet. Unisex, because a guy girl can wear it. It has rose, it has oud, incense, everything, which is like very, very traditional. So I think a traditional perfume, either or, you know. Whether I think it's meant for, not even fall, it's meant for winter, but you know what? I would wear this during any weather in the evenings, but I would restrict this to occasion wear. We have 2 more to go, and let me switch it up now, because now I think we are done with all the traditional. Wait, no, there's one more. Liam, look at how much is gone. Oh my gosh, you know why? Because Ali also loves this perfume, and so do I. Yes, it does lean slightly masculine, but I think it's fine for a woman to use it as well. Yes, but it does like smell. Initially you would feel like it's a very masculine scent. Let it like rest a little bit and tell me what you feel. This is the most oriental smelling perfume. It has fig, it has tea, it has some kind of spices, like it's not Middle Eastern at all. Yeah, this is supposed to be the dupe for Gris Chanel. Gris Chanel is I really want to get the original, but then I have the dupe, and there are other brands that also have the dupes, and I'm wondering, why would I pay that much money, right? So probably not. But you have no idea how many times I've gone to the store and smelled Gris Chanel, because I love this perfume so much. See, now that it's rested, I think it's a very, very unisex fragrance. It smells traditional oriental. Let me tell you the notes for this. It's such beautiful notes. You have fig, cardamom and black tea. It's like magical, you know. Then you have your middle notes of iris, labdanum and vetiver. This is the part where it gets very, very masculine. And then in the base you have vanilla, sandalwood, tonka and patchouli, which kind of like makes the perfume smell a little bit like creamy. And it's not creamy as in whipped cream or something. It just gives you a slight bit of a lotion vibe, you know. Again, this will remind you of Crystal Noir. but it is not anything close to it. But there are some spices in it. There's something in it that reminds me of the same genre of perfumes. If you wear this, people will definitely look at you. It's calling out, like, for attention. They've not listed pepper. There is pepper in this. Like, it's so prominently there because they've not listed ginger. They've not listed any kind of spices. But it very clearly has something very, very spicy in it. And it smells like black pepper to me, not even pink pepper. So yeah, probably that one note is missing from here. The cardamom is so mellow, so it doesn't overtake the perfume. Your fig is not a very green fig, which I appreciate, because fig, although I like it in perfumes, if it turns too green, then I of course don't appreciate it. This smells more like the flesh of the fig and not the entire fruit when you smell it just like that. The cardamom is like mildly there. Black tea is like very prominent. And then you have like a bunch of earthy notes along with your vanilla and a creamy, creamy sandalwood. 10 out of 10. I like no. First of all, this is so reasonably priced. Like right now, like I think I should get like a couple of backup bottles for this, because once it like starts picking up, I know Lattafa prices are just like escalating right now. I mean, all the Yaras were released and they were so dirt cheap, and now this Yara candy, which is by the way not even available in UAE yet, plus it's being sold at $50. That's like almost 200 dirhams. It's a lot. It's very expensive. Projection is like, wow, 4 feet or more. It just projects. You spray this perfume, just spreads everywhere. Like, I think you can wear this in all weather. I feel it's more appropriate for summer, but you know what? Wear this in any weather and it'll be fine. And the longevity, needless to say, is like 8+ hours. Now the last but not the least is a perfume I have not mentioned in a very long time. But let me show you how much of it. The perfume is this is Khamrah, but the Qahwa edition. That's why it has this dark bottom. So this is Khamrah with your Arabian coffee. It's called Qahwa. Qahwa is a blend of coffee. And when you make this Qahwa, you add cardamom, you add a little bit of ginger. Some people add some other spices as well, along with that Arabic coffee, which is very potent, very strong. That mixture is called Qahwa. And when you like have that Qahwa, it smells like this perfume. So this is Khamrah along with that Qahwa note. Oh my gosh, like it takes me back to days where, every mall and every like luxury store in Dubai, when you enter, they would greet you and they would give you a cup of Qahwa. But the Qahwa comes in like little short cups, yeah? So they would give you this Qahwa and they would give you a date. So Qahwa is normally not sweetened. It's just the coffee with all those spices and herbs and stuff. And they give you the date, which is the sweeter. So you take a bite of the date and you take a sip of Qahwa. The top notes for this are ginger, cinnamon and cardamom. This is what you add with the coffee to make Qahwa. Then you have the middle notes of praline, candied fruits and white flowers. And then you have your base notes of coffee, tonka bean, benzoin, vanilla and musk. It has this very, very sweet Khamrah vibe in the background. Smells almost like angel share in the background in the dry down with the top notes of Qahwa. This is like the easiest way I can describe this perfume. It smells thick, it smells syrupy, but because it has like cinnamon and cardamom and ginger, that spicy freshness, if you know these notes of spices, they wake you up, right? The coffee note is not overwhelming. It's a very mellow coffee note. So when you have Qahwa, yes, you can smell the coffee very strongly, but in this perfume, the coffee note is like very, very tame. Now, as opposed to Khamrah, which is not very long lasting, Khamrah Qahwa is very long lasting. So this gives you at least 8 hours. You will reach 8 hours for sure. In the dry down, it almost smells like your vanilla coffee with all those spices of Qahwa, Very stunning fragrance. Like it's very, very unique, very different. Of course, meant to be worn in winter. I would not even, like Dubai, when I say autumn or fall, in Dubai, it's not really cold. We don't need to like dress ourselves in warm clothing. I know in other countries it's different, but in UAE, fall just means it's not so hot anymore and we're approaching winter. But when winter hits, yeah, you need to like wear some warm clothing. If you can bear cinnamon, cardamom and your ginger as a note which stays throughout this perfume. And if you like mild coffee, even if you don't like the coffee note in the perfume, and because there was a time where we all got freaked out because there were perfumes which had such strong coffee notes that it was like so off-putting. Like everything was smelling like barista. Think French coffee by Riha. Ugh, so horrible. I think I got rid of it. Yeah, finally it's gone. It's like I don't have to see that ugliness ever again. It traumatized me, and I was so scared of like coffee perfumes after that. This is such a pleasant surprise after that. Mellow, sweet, with your spices, like very Middle Eastern, of course, because it's kahwa. I don't see people not liking this perfume for winter. So yeah, this perfume is a 10 out of 10. I think there was only one perfume that I did not give 10 out of 10 to, and that was your Royal Khaltat Al Arabia Royal Blends. This was the one I gave 9 to, and I was almost tempted to give this also a 10 out of 10. But just because I don't reach that much for it, I gave it a 9 out of 10. I should probably give it a 9.5, but let's stick to 9 for now. Wow, this video is so long that my battery life from 100 it's gone to 12% now. So I need to, yeah, I think I've spoken a lot, and I'll need to like edit and make this a bit a shorter video. And the editing is gonna kill me. Because when I overspeak like what I'm doing right now, I know I have to edit all this, but then I keep speaking. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.